Okay, this video we're doing page 1 of Unit 4. So it's going to go on the back of our Unit 4 page thingy. Make sure you put a nice big 1 in the corner so when you take that photo to submit it, I can see it nice and clear. You are going to need this packet, our vocab packet, and then this one that says how do minerals form. And we're going to start with our first word, mineral. If you want to pause and get that cut out, I know if you cut it all the way around the edge, you're going to lose these two papers from being attached here, so you don't have to. I'm going to cut mine like this. So see, I didn't quite cut it. Just so that my papers don't go all wackadoo. So you see I have it cut out and it's got that little nip out of the top. That's fine. So see that my other two words are still attached. So we're going to start with that vocab word. You're going to need a pen or a pencil. And we'll start with the definition. Okay, so minerals are natural. I need to move this. Writing on really bumpy stuff. Natural, non-living, solid. We know solid. Remember last unit. Crystal, like Miss Crystal, but not quite. That makes up rocks. Second part that we also need to know. Each mineral has a specific, that also means like unique or different, unique, a specific chemical makeup. So what is inside of it? Remember those atoms, those bonds, they are different from one mineral to the next. So make sure you get that definition copied down. Pause the video if you need to. Now you might have noticed that these are sort of the same for every vocab word in this unit, and that's because I'm going to go through the first two with you and you will do the third one on your own like we've been doing. So give an example of, or use the word in a sentence. We're going to give an example. So the most common mineral that you all use every day, whether you know you do or not, it's in almost everything you eat, is salt. Salt is a mineral. Now let's think about salt. It occurs in nature, that's true. It is not living, it doesn't breathe, it doesn't walk and do that stuff. Salt is solid. And if you look at salt grains, they are shiny and stuff like a crystal. For number 2, I want you to write the additional fact, something to remember, that minerals are the building blocks. So I wrote those in quotes because it's like a nickname. It's not like they're not always blocks and not necessarily always building things. Building blocks of rocks. So get that copy down. When you do that, get your picture page. And we're going to need this picture right there, that little tiny one. I didn't do a very good job. So we've got that all copied down. Getting this picture. I'm not going to write a sentence here for you, but I am going to describe my picture to make it a little bit easier for you to answer number 3. So I hope you have the sound on, because that is definitely going to make this easier. So what this is, and you can color those in if you like, is just a picture of a bunch of different minerals. So, in your own words, how does this picture describe the word mineral? When you finish getting all of those things copied down, you're going to get this word glued in at the top of the page. And then you're going to get that other packet that I asked you to get. So let me just get that glued in up there. Zoom back out a little bit. And you're going to get out this packet. Now again, we're not starting with the one on the top because Miss Philippa did not plan it well. So you're going to go in 1, 2, 3 to the 4th page. It says up here at the top, all about minerals, the building blocks of rocks. And you are going to very carefully, maybe a little bit better than I did. You can also use scissors to get this out. Oh, so you can still kind of tell it says all. We're going to use that. So this is where you're going to need a highlighter or something to underline or write with. And we're going to go ahead and read this out. Eventually, you're going to be answering the questions on the back, and it will get folded and put in here. If you'd like to trim the edges around here, you can. So title of our reading passage, all about minerals, the building blocks of rocks. So we just wrote that down. Remember? Oh, so exciting. I know. So minerals. So let's see. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to need to look down here. While you are reading, mark with symbols. So I know you do some annotation in Miss Frolicker's class. That's awesome. If you don't have green and yellow, like it asks for down here, I'll tell you what to do when we get there. So when we're reading, anytime you find something interesting as I'm reading, you're going to mark it with an exclamation point. So like you're like, oh wow, that's so interesting. When you're confused by something or you're unsure, put a question mark. Remember, that's a question you can ask me later or you can message me about on Schoology. And an asterisk or just a star, or, so those are really easy to make, these things. You just draw a line this way, and then this way, and then this way, 6 lines. You can also do an 8-line one, and that's fine too. But that's when you find something important. So yellow, we're going to highlight in yellow when we find any key power words or key terms. So when we read a word and we're like, that's going to be important, we're going to highlight it in yellow. If you don't have a yellow highlighter, let's say you only have an orange pen, you can cross off yellow and write orange just so that you remember. And the same goes for green. If you don't have green, which is what we're going to write about, key phrases and definitions, we're going to highlight in green. So make sure you have a pen for doing the symbols and the highlighters for the 2 highlighter colors. And let's get this guy started. Okay, so all about minerals. So minerals is a key term or power word. So you can underline it in the color you have, or you can highlight it in yellow. So minerals, we're going to highlight minerals every time we see it. Minerals are naturally reoccurring. That means they keep coming back. Let's zoom in on that. It's going to be hard to follow along. Okay, there we go. Are naturally occurring inorganic substances with a chemical composition formed by geological processes. So that's the definition of minerals. Are naturally reoccurring, that means they occur again. Inorganic, that means non-living. Substances with a chemical composition, we talked about that in our definition, formed by geological processes. That just means by the processes of Earth. So then we've got mineralogy, that's another key word. And our definition is the study of crystal structure, chemistry, and the properties of minerals. Hint, hint. That's going to be one of your questions on the back. Okay. So mineralogy provides us with all of the useful information we need to determine if a substance is a mineral. So determine means like decide or figure out. So if a substance is a mineral, what its use and purpose could be for us, that means humans, and how it affects whatever is around it. Minerals are often essential. I only want you to underline essential. Essential means like we have to have them to the health of the human body in their different forms. I want you to pause and reread, and I want you to go back and put at least 1 exclamation point and 1 asterisk or star. If you have a question, you can put a question mark. If not, don't have to. So you should have at least 1 exclamation point and 1 star. Unpause when you're ready to move on to the next paragraph. Okay. Minerals are often considered the building blocks of rocks. So this is important. I want you to underline building blocks of rocks. You can even like look with an arrow, minerals, building blocks of rocks. As rocks are made up of at least one, sometimes more minerals. The three main types of rocks are igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic. So we're going to learn more about rocks in our next unit. This is just something to like a preview. So igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic. Igneous rocks are formed, we're not going to highlight the definitions because we don't need them right now, are formed from the magma or lava that cool quickly while underground, locking in a variety of minerals like quartz. So quartz is often found in igneous rocks. Sedimentary rocks are created from materials like shells and sand where the layers gather together over time. Oh, I didn't underline sedimentary. Where the layers gather together over time to form a rock. Metamorphic rocks then are rocks that have been changed. So that's like when we've been learning the word transform. So it has that sort of thing in it. Or metamorphic. You've heard of like butterflies going through metamorphosis. It's a change. So that have been changed over time by heat or pressure. Some minerals within metamorphic rocks may be garnet or kyanite. So those are a little bit more rare. Okay, so I want you to pause. Again, at least one exclamation point and one star. And unpause when you're ready to go to paragraph 3. Okay, paragraph 3. Minerals can be found everywhere you look, even in the most ordinary, that just means basic, household objects. When you brush your teeth, your toothpaste contains very important minerals for clean teeth. Calcium carbonate, limestone, sodium carbonate, and fluorine are all found in a single tube of toothpaste. The pots and pans you use in the kitchen may contain minerals such as aluminum and iron. So yeah, a lot of our elements on our periodic table are minerals in their natural state. Have you looked in a mirror lately? Your mirror may contain quartz. Ooh, so I think quartz is pretty shiny. Almost all electronics use minerals such as silver, even copper for the inner wirings. Let's highlight minerals here. We haven't in a while. Minerals are even put to use with babies in baby powder, which contains talc. Minerals, I'm going to underline this. Minerals can be found anywhere. So again, I want you to go back for this paragraph 3, one exclamation point and one star. And then you can unpause when you're ready to go to paragraph 4. Okay. For a substance to be considered a mineral, there are 5 key requirements. So we're going to go with an underline on the yellow. 5 key requirements. Maybe a good place for you to put a star. Something is important. Hint, hint. First. So first, highlight first all the way, and then underline the object must be solid. Second, the object must be naturally occurring and not man-made. Third, the item must be inorganic or not living. Fourth, it must have a definite chemical composition. That means we know exactly what it's made of. So definite, remember we said fixed, it doesn't change. So salt is always made of the same things. It's not made of different things. Finally, or fifth, to be considered a mineral, the substance must have an ordered internal structure or atomic arrangement. So remember when we were making our atoms and we had the bonds, and I told you that some are always formed the same way? That's how it is inside of a mineral too. They're always going to look the same way. It's not just going to have the same stuff inside of it. They're going to look the same way. So with these 5 requirements, you may have a mineral on your hands. So what you're going to do next is flip this over, and you're going to fold it in half, hamburger style.